What's up, beautiful people, and welcome back to another segment of Black Business Booming. Look, thank you so much for everyone who's watching the episode, shared, commented, liked. I have some interviews with a few views. I have some with a couple hundred. So thank you to everyone who supported this. Again, I always talk about my reason for doing this. When I had in mind to start a YouTube channel, I wanted there always to be a way to highlight and give a space and a place and a platform for Black businesses, no matter where they are on their timeline, to just express, some of the things, the questions I say, just giving someone else some inspiration on getting out there, starting from authors to artists to business owners, entrepreneurs, and any right Black business booming. So that's the whole purpose. And I'm excited because, as always, I have awesome guests, and that's no different today. Super excited about this one. I'm interested in knowing how much we dive into because we go way back. But without further ado, sis, I want you to introduce yourself to everybody and just any background information and before we get into what you do.
Cool. My name is Dorcas. A lot of people know me by K. Of course, Mike, you know me by K. That's how I introduce myself to you. But University of Montevallo graduate, member of Zeta Phi Beta. That's how I know Mike. Wife, mom of two, been married, be 11 years in July. Small town country girl from Wilcox County, Alabama. Just trying to grow, just trying to live life to the fullest, man. Life is short, and if 2020 taught us anything, just live life in the here and now, live in that abundance. And so that's what I'm doing, just enjoying being me.
I love it. And I love the way you said, a lot of times when I do like a little video or intro on a podcast or interview, I'll say that I'm just a small town country boy from Fort Mitchell, Alabama, this and that. And, I love saying that because it's that humble beginnings, right?
Mm-hmm.
And as Kay already said, as I know her by, we go back, we were talking before we started, we go back some years, at least 15 plus years. So it's been a long time coming. So I'm always excited when it's like family. It really is family on these interviews that's doing some awesome stuff. And here's another thing I say. If anyone has seen one of the interviews for Black Business Booming, I always say this: I don't need anyone to tell me what Black people are or are not doing because I see it. That's another reason for me doing this, because you can't tell me because I see it all the time. These are people that I know or that I've met on social media and interacting with them. And it's like, oh my God, my circle's entrepreneurs and authors and business owners and coaches and teachers and doctors. So don't tell me, miss me with any of the negativity.
And that's the thing I love. They say birds of a feather flock together. And I always tell people, if your circle is not pushing you to be the best that you can be, if they're not, your biggest cheerleaders, if we're not all sitting at the table, then you may need to reevaluate your circle because, we don't need yes people. We need people who are going to push us. And so I agree. Like my circle, we're doing it big. That's all I got to say.
Boom. Dropping gems. As I always say, dropping gems. And we haven't even started dropping gems. So I love it. So this is awesome. I'm excited about this. So first I want to tap into the fact that you are an amazing author, right? And you have.
Can you believe it?
I can't. It's so amazing, right? So I want you to just take a moment and tell everybody your book, and the title, and just give everybody some information on that, and we'll start from there. So introduce that for us.
Yeah. I'm an author. I'm a published author. It still feels surreal. I'm just waiting for somebody to pinch me. But I say my freshman book because I've already started writing book number 2. Nice. And it's Breaking the Silence, Christianity and Mental Illness. Started writing this book back in summer of 2019. And this has been an amazing healing journey. And just to give you a little bit that's in the book, back in 2019, I checked myself into Brookwood Hospital, just dealing with anxiety and depression, and really didn't know what it was at the time. And I just knew that something was wrong. No faith, just hopeless, just really didn't care about life. 2 months prior, contemplated suicide, like literally right there, gun in my hand, in my car with my kids playing, in the yard. And so went into the hospital, didn't know what to expect. And that was time that I could really commune with God. I said I wanted a vacation, just a momcation, and just to reset. And he gave me that, just not in the form that I wanted. Here I am in Brookwood, psych ward, whatever. No phone. I mean, nothing. And I was like, okay, God, what are we doing here? Like, here I am. There's nothing of me left. And he gave me the title of the book. And he was like, okay, this is going to require a lot of you. And basically through the book, I talk about my growing up without my mom, raised by my grandparents, and, the traumas that I've overcome in life, and how being a Christian was affected by it. And, just living in that silence of the shame, the pride, and the fear. And I talk about all that in the book. And basically, I use my life story to show people that if God did it for me, he can do it for you. And basically, the spiritual and practical tools needed that you will need in on the journey of healing. And I say in the book, I've done a lot of healing, but I'm still healing. I still have, I'm still on this journey, and I just invite people to join me on this journey of healing, because, God is tired of his people living in silence. If you think about it, a lot of people commit suicide because they feel they have no one. They feel they have no one to talk to. No one understands me. They don't know, they want help, but they don't know how to get help. And so this is our God. It was hard to write because I get very personal, very personal. All my business in the streets. When I say all my business in the streets, all my business in the streets. And so it was scary, but, I had a choice to make. And, am I going to continue to hold it in, or am I going to allow my story to be a testament to others? And, I always say, God allows us to overcome things and go through things so that we can help other people. And that's why our testimonies are so important. And so, I didn't want to allow 33 years of pain and hurt to be for nothing. And it's just, okay, I'm going to get through this, and I'm going to tell the world, yes, it's okay to love God. It's okay to be a Christian. It's okay to have moments in your life where you have no faith, or you have no hope, or you may want to curse God because he's allowing this to happen to you. It's okay. I go and I break it down to, like, Bible verses, and, where prominent people in the Bible, they've dealt with forms of mental illness, depression, anxiety, because the church has, pretty much condemned people, like, oh, that's not of God. You're just letting the devil use you. That's, you're just worrying. I'm like, bye. Just pray about it. Well, what am I going to do when I can't pray? And that's where I was. I was in a place where I couldn't pray because I didn't care. Like, I stopped going to church. It was like, whatever, screw life. Even though I had my babies, at some point that's not enough. And people often say, well, she why she couldn't, she had babies, that wasn't enough. The love that your children give you and the love that it only can go so far. And that's why, you have to be whole within yourself. And that's one thing that Breaking the Silence is all about. It's overcoming that darkness. It's overcoming the hurt and the pain. And it's allowing God to heal you from the inside out. And I tell people, God had to break us. He has to break you, because a lot of times we take the certain puzzle pieces, and we try to push them in places, like putting a square in a circle, and we get the Gorilla Glue and try to make it fit when if God didn't mean it to be there. So in order for him to fix it, he has to break the whole thing. And that's what Breaking Your Silence is about. He has to break you down to the little, pieces of the puzzle. And by trusting him and taking the journey and putting in the work, he takes all the pieces that are supposed to be there, and he he puts them back together the way they were meant to be. And I mean, it's not the same puzzle. It may look like the same puzzle, but it's not the same puzzle. And so that's why, I mean, I you know, my life is not perfect, but where I am today, you couldn't have told me in the beginning of 2019 that I would be here. Like, you know, I'm gonna say this, my therapist told me, she was like, I'm surprised you're a functioning adult. She was like, statistically, you should either be like strung out on IV drugs, you know, whatever, or dead by now by suicide. I was like, yeah, thank God I don't look like what I've been through. But, you know, I tell people, I said, well, you know, evidently he has a plan for me because I'm still here. And I just want to be a vessel. I just want to be that light to
I love it.
somebody. If I could help one person, then that's it. You know, it's not about the money. It's not about notoriety or fame. It's about God's people just coming back to him and allowing him to do the work from the inside out, and, you know, just letting him put the pieces back together so that we can live in the abundance that he, you know, he wants us to live in.
I love that. And you know, I think it's so timely, and just
Mm-hmm.
even the multiple meanings from the title in it of itself, breaking the silence, and even you explaining that. It's at a moment where we hear all this, but for you to actually put that into the form, for someone to be able to read that and go on that journey, it's amazing. And it's so awesome, because I'm seeing this happen more and more, especially in the Black community, where people are now, you know, and your title is so perfect. They're breaking the silence, right? They're
It's
talking about these
okay.
things that's so tough, right? They can't talk to anyone at church. They can't talk to family. And that right there, that message that it's okay. I love that. That you can talk about these things and actually deal with them, because you have to, right? So
Yeah.
that's so awesome.
I'm an open book now. I'm transparent. You know, there are things, you know, in the book, certain things that happen, the molestation and the rape in college. I don't use names. Someone said, why didn't you put names in a book? Well, that's not what God required of me, because if I had to put names, then it would have been all about the person who did the hurt or caused the trauma, and it would have taken away from the healing, and that's what the book is about. And so that was done on purpose. And, you know, I listen. God say, don't do it, I'm not going to do it. He tell me put this in there, I have to put it in there. And there were some things that are in there I was not going to put. And he said, no, ma'am, you're going to put them in there. And I'm like, the more I tried to fight it, he was like, put it in there. And I was, okay, Lord. But, whoo. But, you know, the book also has journal pages. I have reflective questions throughout, because writing was so therapeutic for me, and it still is. And I know a lot of times we'll read books and say, man, you get your pen and paper and want to write down notes. Well, that was one thing that God required of me, that I put, you know, reflective questions and journal pages in the book, so that you'll have everything right there, and you can reflect back to, okay, this is where I was when I read the book. And here you are a year later, like, wow, that's what I felt about myself. Like, man, like your girl doing good. You give yourself a
I
pat on the
love it.
back, because, you know, you're doing a dang on thing.
Yeah. So not even just a story or a journey, but also a toolkit. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
that's so
That
awesome.
and that's what it is. It's a roadmap, and that's why I say it's a roadmap. And you know, it's not all the answers, but if you take these practical steps, and, you know, really listen to God, and like really listen to his voice, and really be intentional and pray about that spirit of discernment, then, and just cut out, you know, I would say you just have to, you know, just cover your ear gates, like, because you don't need all this mess just being just there. And so if you have to put in the work, and I'd say it's not going to be easy, and there's going to be more pain, you know, because you have to sit there and you have to relive every single thing that, you know, hurt you, or every person. And even reading the book now, I still get like choked up, because, and it's my life. And so just like a wound, you know, it hurt when you cut yourself, but when they put the antiseptic on it, the alcohol or whatever, it's gonna burn. You're gonna
Mm-hmm.
feel more pain, but you have to deal with that pain, because that's the only way the healing process can begin without the threat of infection or anything like that. So, I mean, more pain is to come, but I promise you, it'll be, the healing that comes on the backside of that pain is far worth it. So.
More gems, more gems. I mean, that's
I
what it's
use a
all
lot of those in
about.
the book. Like, a friend of mine, she was like, "Oh my God," I call them my little parables. She was like, "I love the visuals." I was like, because I'm a visual person, and you have to meet people where they are. I'm not going to try to go over your head with thou art, thou whatever. No, we're here. I'm going to meet you where you are, and that's where God is going to meet you. He's going to meet you where you are. And if you remember, if you just hold on to that, he knows where you are, and he's going to meet you right where you are. And you just have to put in the work to continue that journey. So, I'm just trying to shine my little light on somebody,
I know that's right. That's what it's all about. So, and if we go back to 2019, breaking the silence, what was one of the most challenging things, or what was some of the challenges that you face in saying, listen, I'm about to write this book. I want to, because I'm sure there was a transformation while you started writing, but what was one of the hardest things or biggest challenges you face in sitting down to say, listen, I'm about to write this book?
Coming to terms with the fact that people aren't going to like some of the stuff that's in the book, especially family members, and that has proven to be true. However, I had to get comfortable. So, okay, you're going to get uncomfortable. This is going to be an uncomfortable journey. You're going to have to really live through the things that you've gone through and come face to face with it. And it's the unknown. I don't know where this is going to take me. I don't know what is going to happen on the backside of it, or when it's going to happen. Am I qualified to do this? No one is going to listen to me. Every piece of doubt, every piece of fear, everything. And, I always wanted to write a book, but I wanted to write my type of book. And when God shuts all that down and he give you what you're going to write, it's like, you have a choice, but you don't have a choice. And I have, in your obedience, I could have said, nah, I'm good. I'm just going to crawl back in my hole. I'm going to continue to just let it fester, and whatever happens, happens. But, they said when you're sick and tired of being sick and tired, then you'll do something about it. I was tired. I didn't know who I was. I really didn't like the person I was seeing in the mirror. So I was like, okay, what you going to do? You barbecue a mildew, as my husband say. You're gonna sink or swim.
I love it. Right.
And I'm here. I'm here, and so I'm just trying to be obedient and just let people know that you don't have to be perfect to be that beacon of light. You don't have to be perfect. People aren't looking for a perfect person. They're looking for a real person. Right. And they want to know, and I think that's a lot of mistakes that the church have made. They want to pretend like they haven't done anything. Oh, I didn't do this, or I didn't do that. Lies, I tell you, lies. And that's not what, and that's not what we need. That's not what our youth. That's not what the generations behind us need. They need that transparency. They need the real raw truth, and it's no time out for sugarcoating things. And so, I just have to. As uncomfortable as it is, I have to be real. I have to be transparent. And I just have to, if I have to be the sacrifice, then so be it. As long as my daddy is pleased with me, whoop-de-doo.
There you go. All right. So in going back to how you said, in starting to write the book, not sure where it would take you. Another thing I'm excited about, and just your journey is amazing, and it's something we talked about. So this journey you're on now, it's put something else in the works. So, almost kind of looking forward, so explain to me now this thing that you're working on that's in the works that of course pleases me so much, in what I do, and as a brother, just love seeing this. So take a moment to tell everybody what's coming up for you as well.
Well, what a lot of things what's a couple of things are coming up. Besides the book, I have my business that will be my life coaching business. That'll be a transformational and mindset coach. And it's called Darkness to Hope. And it's I love it because none of this came from me. God gave me the name. I was literally in my kitchen and he literally gave me the logo. And Darkness to Hope, it's out of the darkness always comes hope. And people often say, darkness to light. Well, if you have hope, that light is there. And people relate more to hope because when you're in a hopeless situation, you want that hope. And so that's where the Darkness to Hope come from, because you're getting another chance. You're getting that second chance. The darkness is not the end point. You get to go to get through the darkness and get to the light. And so I'm working on that. I'm currently getting my certification. I will be done with my classes the end of March.
Nice.
Then launching March 22nd is my video podcast, Darkness to Hope with Dorcas P. Oh my God, God has given me some amazing, amazing, amazing content, and I'm so excited to share that with the world, with everyone. Who knows? I always say I wanted to be a motivational speaker, and be careful what you ask for. But
Right.
I love helping people. And it's amazing now that not only am I helping people, but I am at a place where I know I have to be poured into as well. Because when you're pouring into everybody else and you have no one to pour into you, then that's when you end up in the place where I was. And so now I know those boundaries. I know how to pour into people and still keep my cup full. And so
Nice.
that's where the life coaching, it's transformational coach, because it's the transforming of your mind. It's a shift in your mindset. And that's why it's a transformational mindset coach, because if you can shift this, then your power is right there. And so that's that. And I don't have an official launch date of the life coaching business, but it will be posted and everything. But I'm excited. I'm excited about what's to come. I'm excited about 2021, and just whatever he has coming. Look, I don't know. Okay. You just tell him what to do, because I didn't ask for
I
this.
think
You
that's the
gave it to me.
beauty. That's the beauty in it, right? Because a lot of times, and that's why I always say that with what I set out to do here, it's Black businesses at every stage. Here it is now, you're an author, but we're talking about businesses that are budding right now, things that's happening. And like you said, I always thought I wanted to be a motivational speaker. Be careful what you wish for. Those things come as your platform builds and people see your story, because your story is amazing. Someone watching this is like, oh my God, she's speaking to me. She's talking to me. And that's why I say everything is so timely. It's just amazing how things happen. And when something is set in place, right, it's always that timing when that flower needs to bud. And you mentioned a little bit earlier about that painful process. And I tell people, if you think about a seed when you plant it, think about the hardest thing that seed to do before you see this beautiful bloom is to break through ground. The root has been set and it's gotten deeper and deeper, but now it has to burst through the ground for you to see this beautiful bloom. So that's so awesome. So, and now thinking about breaking the silence, thinking about you're an author, you're getting this book out there, it's available, and now building these businesses. In the totality, what are some of the day-to-day challenges that you face in being an entrepreneur and an author and a person who's out here building businesses?
It's that balance. I'm a stay-at-home mom now. Lost my job back in October. Best thing that could have ever happened to me. People, that's crazy, but it's the best thing. I'm so thankful God closed that door. He slammed it, closed it, like locked it, threw the way the key. I'm so thankful for that. But it's just finding that balance and not getting overwhelmed with the unknown. Like, okay, trying to learn the marketing and how to, you know, build your following and knowing the right content to, you know, to get out there. And so that is like a challenge. That is one of my daily challenges. But, you know, I say, okay, yeah, I have a 3-year-old and a 6-year-old who's doing distant learning. I just have to find that time. So, okay, this is what mommy's doing, and just that balance. And, you know, one of my friends she's like my sister in my circle. She's really helped me with that, and just really finding that balance, being a mom, a wife, you know, now a mompreneur, entrepreneur.
Right.
I'm not used to selling myself. I'm not used to selling my brand. I'm not used to any of this. So get comfortable being uncomfortable. But it's just, that's mainly it. And just, you know, trying to stay out of my own head.
Mm-hmm.
That's my thing. It's like, I get up here, it's like I overthink things too much. And so I'm just really, I have to be intentional to stay out of my own way. And so, but, you know, I just said one thing that I was in class and we were doing one of our breakout coaching sessions, and it's, you know, I just heard it so clear. It's like, he was like, you have your own path. And that was one thing I was doing. I was trying to follow everyone else's path. Like I was being consumed with following everybody else on social media or whoever, what they do. I want to do exactly what they did. And, you know, it was becoming like discouraging and overwhelming. And he was like, I've made your path for you. You have your own path. You don't have to follow anyone else's. And so I have to constantly remind myself, it's okay to read, you know, other people's material, how they were successful, what they did, but you can't consume yourself with how they were successful, because their journey is not going to be your journey. So that's one thing, like over the last couple of weeks, I really had to step outside of and say, okay, you cannot continue to want to compare yourself and want to do exactly like this person because they have this and have that. No, God has set the path for you. He knows what you're going to come against. He knows what he's doing. And so that's one hurdle that I've had to clear over these last couple of weeks. But, you know, I'm just trying to stay focused and give myself grace, which
you know what? Here's the thing. You're not trying, you're doing it. And that's what I love. And I tell people, you know, it's so amazing. One thing you say is comparison, right? And a while back I made a post and I wrote something on it. Comparison, you know, the quote is, comparison is the thief of joy. But I was attempting to make that quote during a session with a client, and she finished a statement and said confidence. And I was like, yes. Because, you know, I have my 5 C's: capable, competent, confident, conscious, courageous. And I was like, yes, that's it. Comparison is the thief of confidence. You start looking at what everybody else is doing and seeing their journeys and right people presenting their best self on social media. And you're like, oh my God, I can't do that. And before you know it, your confidence is shot. So I love that, what you said about that. And that's a challenge for sure, day to day.
Yeah, that's exactly where I was, you know. I was like, I can't do this, you know. But my husband, we're raising the kids. Ken, it's not in your vocabulary. Ken, it's not in your vocabulary. You know, even my daughter, I'll say, I cannot do this. She's like, nope, mom, we don't say can't. We do not say can't.
Love it. Love it.
And it backfires sometimes.
Right.
But, you know, I have my board beside my bed on my wall and different things, you know, even with breaking the silence, I have my voice has power. Because in those moments where you're feeling like you're defeated or you can't, you just want to want to go back in my shell. I look at that because a friend of mine said, if you write it down now when you're not feeling that way, when you are, you can just read it. You don't have to think about it. Then you've already, you know, have it there. Just go there and read it.
Yeah.
And whatever. And that's one thing I have, you know, God has already laid my path. I don't have to follow anyone else's. And so that's one thing. Whenever I want to compare myself to people, I go with. It's right there. When I wake up, I see it. My voice has power. So as long as I continue to speak and break my silence, nothing can hold me back. You know, there's no bondage in my pain and my hurt because that bondage came into, pride, fear and shame. And so, like I said, I'm real. Yes. I don't want people to think that, oh, she just churchy. Look, your girl is real. I talk to Jesus like he my homeboy. Like, what's up, dude? Like, look,
right.
your girl down here struggling, and I'm perfect in my imperfections, and that's the thing.
Yeah.
I'm so perfect in my imperfections, and it's okay. I give myself grace in saying it's okay not to be okay. It's okay not to have it all together. It is okay that if you make mistakes. It is okay if this person doesn't like the book. It is okay if only, 2 people order whatever. It is okay, because Rome wasn't built in a day, and everyone is not going to believe in you. As long as you believe in yourself and believe in the assignment that you have on your life and continue to have the connection, it's going to be okay. And that's what I have to constantly remind myself. So, yeah, I still say bad words every now and then. I still, want to say, don't, your girl.
And that right there is what creates the people that you'll reach that the other person can. And I tell people, I love that affirmation you talked about, your voice, right? When you find your voice, when you find your lane, no one can touch that, because your delivery, your thought, your journey. I tell people, even if you are identical twin, y'all still did not have the same journey. You still did not have the same journey. Even being side by side, you're still in a different place. So that's beautiful. So if we were to take that in contrast and flip it, right? We talked about the challenges, right? And again, you're just dropping so many gems. I love it. So if we flip that, now what is the most satisfying part of being here now? You mentioned a lot of it already, but the satisfying part of being an author and now getting ready to be a life coach and starting your business and just really helping people to come out of that darkness into this hope. What is the most satisfying thing about being a mompreneur, as you call it? I love that. So what is that satisfying part now?
For one, and which was one of my motivations, one of the motivations, I said, when my daughter looked back, I want her to say, my mom was strong. My mom is strong. If she can make it through all of that, I can do whatever I want to do. And when she see me, she knows, Mama, this your book. She knows Mommy wrote a book, but she doesn't know what is in this book. And one day, this is a part of my legacy. And one day, my children, especially my daughter, is going to read this and say, that's my mom. My mom did not give up. She fought her ass off, not only to be a better person for herself, but to be a better person for us. And that is one thing. So when my daughter sees me, she sees strength. She sees hope. She sees faith. She sees God. Like, above all else, she sees God. And another thing is, I know what it feels like to be in that hole of, there's nothing, like somebody sucked the air out of it, and you're in this hole and you're just afraid, and everything is you having these panic attacks, and you feel like, why am I here? You're questioning life. You're questioning why God even allowed you to be born. You're questioning everything. And I know what that feels like. And, I don't want anybody, I don't care who you are, male, female, pink, purple, green, whatever. I don't want anyone to be in that position where I was. And there are a lot of people there. And so it's bigger than me. And that is I have to remind myself, this is bigger than you. This is not about you, chick. No, this is not about you. So you put your mess over there, because this is about everybody else that God is trying to reach. So it's just like, I have to be beyond intentional. And it's a struggle daily. And I have to be intentional with pretty much everything. Okay. Because I know this is bigger than me. If I stop, somebody's not going to hear what God meant for them to hear from me. Right. If I close my mouth, nothing can come out of it. And it takes me back, when we watch stories when they kidnap people. They not only they tie them up, they put a sock in their mouth or something because they know their voice has power. Because if they scream, somebody can hear them.
Right.
So breaking your silence is kind of like you spitting that thing out and just screaming to the top of your lungs for help, because that is what breaking your silence is all about. So I can't put the duct tape back on. I can't get my lips. I gotta be loud and
nice
in your face.
And that's why that cover resonates so much, right? Hold that book up one more time, like that. It's just so powerful, right? It speaks of all that you're talking about in just the cover in itself.
I'm gonna tell you this: the original idea for this cover was, this silhouette, and the lips would have glass like shattered on the lips, and there would be all these words like hope, faith, depression just floating around in the brain. Well, sent my idea to the guy, and he was like, he couldn't get it to work out. So myself and a friend of mine, we just started looking, just really thinking about, because I knew something had to be breaking. It's breaking your silence. And so the guy was like, well, I need a picture of you like screaming. And we were taking pictures in botanical gardens, and it's hard to literally try to make yourself scream. And I got frustrated, and I did this right here. And the photographer said, that's it.
Wow, that's amazing.
And
see what is meant to be.
It will be. And when the guy did the mock-up and sent it to me, I literally, like, that lump got right there. And I was like, wow. I would have, like, this was beyond anything that I could have imagined. I mean, because that's what it felt like with all of this in your head. Like, you're sad, you're the mom guilt, the pain, the hurt, the fear, the everything, that every thought, like, you want to be better, but you're in this situation. Like, all of those things are going through your mind, and it's just like, and when you break your silence and you're able to release it, I tell people it's like you can exhale, but when you exhale from something that God did, it's a different type of exhale. And all this is not me, and I just I don't care. Like, this is not me. I didn't do any of this. I didn't. I did it, but I didn't. But when I tried to do it, I almost killed myself. When I tried to do it my way, I almost killed myself. So what I had to lose.
Which I think that you just gave me an awesome alley-oop to the next question I want to ask you for. No, you're good. The next question I want to ask, like, so that person watching this, like, oh my God, right? Her journey is amazing, and she's doing this. She's a mother and a wife, and she's writing books, right? Because you talk about this being your freshman book, and you're starting a business. So for that person watching this is like, man, they're either wanting to start a business or just starting. What is some advice that you would give someone that's wanting to dive into entrepreneurship or dive into authorship or anything just to break out? What is some advice that you would give someone that's wanting to start a business or just branch out and create that path themselves?
There's only one thing that's constantly just right here. Give yourself grace.
Nice.
Give yourself grace, because I never imagined myself being in this, in this position. I don't have a 9-to-5 income coming in, but give yourself grace, because you don't know it all. You're still learning. And by giving yourself grace, you take the weight of it all and put it back on God. Because when you are beating yourself up and, I can't do this, I can't do that, then no, you have to give yourself grace. And that is a hard lesson that I learned. And that is one of the greatest lessons that I've learned. It is okay to fail. It is okay not to know all the answers. It is okay that, this is new to you. Just give yourself grace and continue to learn. Like, you just got to go. You got to get comfortable being uncomfortable, because, you know, growth is uncomfortable. When your tooth is growing back, when a child's tooth is growing back in, it's uncomfortable. It's a toothache, you know. So many things are, you know, involving growth is uncomfortable. So get comfortable being uncomfortable and give yourself grace, and do not make a move unless it's a move of God.
Gems, gems. So you already talked about like what's coming, right? Looking forward to when you start your coaching business, and when you just grow from darkness to hope. So what else is there anything that you didn't mention that's on the horizon? What's next for your business, for the book? Anything
Um,
going on? What's on the horizon for you and all this amazing stuff that you have going on?
you know, there are some things that are in the works that I'm not gonna, you know, can't talk about right now. Just know that God has put people position people have reached out that I'm like, who, me?
Mm,
Like, so it's coming, you know. I'm just, I said, okay, God, you know, give it to me. And I know I gotta look, just oh well. To whom much is
mm-hmm.
given, much is required. So if this is where you desire for me to be, if this is my platform, if this is my calling, if this is the assignment on my life, then I just have to roll with it. And because I know you got me, because I ain't asked for this. And so
Nice.
there's some things coming, connecting with people that I've never met before. I'm just excited about what's next. Now, instead of being afraid of the unknown, I'm excited about the unknown.
Yeah,
That's the
that's
thing.
awesome.
It's like that mindset is all about a shift. And if you think
Mindset.
about life
Yes.
in general, you know, he gives us, you know, free will, freedom of choice. Everything in life is a choice. And that's the thing about it. Everything in life is a
Mm-hmm.
choice. And so I just have to say, okay, I make choices according to, you know, my relationship and not my flesh, because my flesh be want to punch some people in the throat, but I can't do that. But but you know, it's just it's so much that he is bubbling up. I keep a notepad and pencil everywhere, because I never know when he's gonna pop some stuff up in here, and I have to try to
Right.
write it down. Posted a video last week, and I want to say this, in my private women's group, Darkness to Hope, on Facebook. And it's a moment of transparency. And I was talking about, like, I've been hitting the snooze button, like physically and like spiritually, like for like 3 weeks. I mean, just God set the alarm, snooze, 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 everything from, you know, physical health to spiritual. I mean, everything. I was hitting the snooze button. And, you know, he was like, okay, I'm tired of you hitting the snooze button. And I was being transparent with the group, and, you know, he spoke that to me. Okay, it's time out for hitting the snooze button on your assignment. It's time out for hitting the snooze button on your health. It's time out for hitting the snooze button. God set the alarm at a certain time, and the alarm went off, but we continue to hit the snooze button because we want to be comfortable. When you're asleep in your bed and you're comfortable, and that alarm goes off, why do you hit the snooze button? Because you're in a comfortable spot. And you
Mm-hmm.
know, if you just get up, you're moving away from the comfort of your bed and the warmth. And so he set the alarm for this time in your life. And we have to stop hitting the snooze button, because guess what? You keep hitting the snooze button, eventually you're going to fall back to sleep, and you're going to miss it. And that was the message that he gave me in that moment. And that's why I love the connection that I have. And I'm so glad that connection has been restored, because it's time out for hitting the snooze button. He set the alarm. He knew that at age 34 and 3/4, that this opportunity was going to come. And he set the alarm, and that opportunity came. But you were so comfortable where you were that you hit the snooze button. And then when the alarm went off again, you hit it again, and you hit it again. And then you're going to look up, and you're 6 months down the road and that opportunity has gone by and you can't get that time back.
Right.
And so I've decided to stop hitting the snooze button because I don't want to look up and say, he positioned all that in front of me. And I chose to stay comfortable in the place where I was, instead of getting uncomfortable, getting out of that bed, getting from under that blanket, you know, stepping into the cold, that little breeze that, you know,
Right.
I don't want to look back and say, dang it, I should have stopped hitting that snooze button.
Yeah.
And so that was the word that he not only gave me, but gave for the ladies that are in my group. And I've had a couple of them reach out to me and said, you know, I got to stop hitting the snooze button. And so I'm just, as you can tell, like it's so much, it's so much that he has. And he, like I said, he dropped these nuggets. And I'm like, did I just say that?
You know what? What's so awesome is I see just the passion, the drive, the gift, the story, the message, all of this that you have. And, you know, you hint, you dropped a little seeds of some different things where your journey is crazy, where it will take you. Not that I think it will, I know it will. And I'm just excited that I had my sis on my little old platform to get the word out about what she's doing. I'm excited because I just see and know the stages and the things that you're going to be on, because we all know that your gifts will make room for you, right? And so I'm just so excited for everything that you have going on. It's amazing. I have to get my copy of the book. And so let everybody know how they can get a copy of the book and get in contact with you on social media. Definitely Darkness to Hope. Tell everybody how they can find you, and especially the book.
The book is available on Amazon. I also have limited signed copies available on my website, and it's www.fromdarkness2hope.com. That's www.fromdarkness2hope.com. Like I said, there are limited signed copies available. I'm signing my book, my name on books and sending it to people. That's crazy.
Nice.
I'm on Instagram at darkness_2_hope. I am on Facebook, Darkness to Hope LLC. Yeah, if you look up the Dorcas K or Dorcas Pittman on any platform, you'll see me. If you need to contact me, info@fromdarkness2hope.com. So yeah, things are in the works. Things are coming. I'm just excited. And I just want to, leave this little thing. I know you just said planting a seed. When someone plants a seed in your life, it's up to you to water it. A seed cannot grow unless you water it. God planted a seed within me, so it's up to me to water it. I have to put the work in. I have to do the work. Faith without works is dead. You can put a seed in the ground, and you can have all the faith in the world that it will produce a harvest. But if you do not water that seed, and if you do not tend to that seed and groom that seed, and there's no way that it could reap a harvest. So God has planted the seed in you. It is up to you to water it, to prune it, and to take care of it so that you can reap the harvest that you so deserve.
Oh, awesome. And it's so awesome because I normally say, is there anything else that you want to leave the people with? And you just gave another nugget. I love it. Of course, everybody, I'm going to put all that information in the description below. Again, I encourage you to like, share, subscribe, follow these businesses, go back and look at the other interviews. I'm just so excited. And sis, from me to you, thank you for doing this. And I'm so proud of you. Just so, when we just sit and look back on how far we come or what we've been through and to this point where here we are on a platform and we're talking about business and growth and all these amazing things. So thank you so much for taking the time to do this. I so appreciate you.
Yes. Thank you for having me. Thank you for allowing me to say my little few words and things of that nature. But I'm excited, and like I said, they can go out to my YouTube page, Darkness to Hope with Dorcas P. Go ahead, hit the subscribe button and notification bell so that when that first episode drop, you will not miss it because, like I said, God has some great things in store. We're going to have fun. I mean, your girl is going to be real and uncut, but I'm going to be decent and in order.
Nice.
Decent now.
Nice.
And in order.
Nice. And of course, I'm definitely going to put that link in the description below as well. Thank you again to you, sis. Thank you everybody for tuning in to another episode of Black Business Booming. And we will see y'all next time. Peace.